There's only one thing better than keto pumpkin bread. Guess what it is? Welcome to the Keto Baking Mechanic. Here we create, tweak, and enhance keto and low-carb breads and baked goods. Be sure to like the video, subscribe, and don't forget to hit that notification button so you can be informed when I have other videos coming down the pike. The one thing that's better than keto pumpkin bread is keto anti-inflammatory pumpkin banana bread that happens to also be gluten-free. This video is brought to you by Sinless Sourdough, where ancient art meets low-carb science. I own Sinless Sourdough. I produce a line of global heritage, low-carb, dehydrated sourdough starters. They are authentic sourdough, scientifically validated, and you bring them to life with low-carb ingredients. When you purchase the starter, shipping is included. It's Canadian, $19.99 Canadian, and it's shipped to your door. And then with the starter, you get your you get your starter guide sent to you in the mail, along with a variety of keto low-carb sourdough discard recipes. And it teaches you how to bring it to life so that you can use this every day in your keto low-carb sourdough baking. Okay, so I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. I'm going to start with my wet ingredients and then add the dry ingredients. So we're going to add 4 eggs. You can add grass-fed butter. It's more expensive. It's way better for your heart because it's higher in omega-3s and lower in saturated fat. But whatever butter you can afford, you just add that to the mix. We're going to add our pumpkin puree. Make sure that when you look on the can, if you're not doing it homemade, that there's no other added ingredients. You want it to just be pumpkin. So we're going to add that to our bowl as well. Next, we're going to add in our apple cider vinegar with your banana extract. And this is what you want to use for a keto diet because bananas are high in carbs and sugar. So try to get one that's natural or one that's half natural and half artificial, because the artificial banana extracts really taste kind of like chemicals. So the more natural you can get, the better. So we're going to add this is what gives the bread a rich banana taste without adding all that sugar and carbs. Next, even though we're using the banana extract or essence, we're also going to add a little bit of vanilla and just give that a mix. Break those eggs. It's gluten-free as well, so it's great for people who are gluten-free that also want to live by a low glycemic or a low-carb or keto diet as well. Okay, so we've added all of the wet ingredients. Now we're going to add the dried. So we have almond flour. You want to go with your favorite brown sugar sweetener. If you can't find brown sugar sweetener in your town or at all or on Amazon, then what you can do is mix the butter and the monk fruit or whatever sweetener you have in a pan, melt it together, and let it sit for quite a while, and it'll actually caramelize and taste more like brown sugar. So if you can't find the brown sugar sweetener, it's too expensive, go for the white sweetener, add the butter, put it in the pan, caramelize it until it turns into a brown butter with that sweetener, and it gets very close to tasting like brown sugar in the actual resulting bread. So we're just going to add that in. 0 carb baking powder, a 1/4 cup of coconut flour. By the way, I don't put measurements because you just have to click the link in the description. It'll take you right to the recipe. Flax meal, ground flax. Psyllium husks, whole psyllium husks. And last but not least, we're going to go with your pumpkin spice. I like lots of pumpkin spice, and I make my own. And I put this recipe I put the recipe for the pumpkin spice in the actual recipe because I call it an anti-inflammatory pumpkin spice. I add other anti-inflammatory properties to the spice blend to boost up those anti-inflammatory properties. So this is actually an anti-inflammatory, gluten-free, refined sugar-free, keto pumpkin banana bread. I mean, what more could you ask for? Okay, so whoops, I forgot to add that. So let me just add that in. You can use as much pumpkin spice as you like. You can use any nut you like. This isn't going to add any net carbs, but it's going to give that extra texture to the dough. So I'm just going to fold those in. I like to go with a silicone mold. It's just easier to take out. If you don't have a silicone, use a regular bread pan, but then line it with parchment paper. Okay? So I'm going to go with this. Okay, and we're going to add this to the bread pan. For our bread garnish, I'm going to show you what I do. It adds a couple more carbs to each slice, but not a lot. And I think it just adds such a nice touch. Okay, so we have the bread in the pan, in the silicone mold or the bread pan, and I'm just going to add one banana to the top for decoration. Now, this is optional. It's going to add a few extra net carbs per slice. Not a lot, but a little bit. But I got to tell you, it just makes this bread look so beautiful. So what I do is I just cut it lengthwise this way across the top, and I turn it this way and lay it and push it right inside the bread. This just makes it look so beautiful when it's completed. Next, since we added chopped walnuts inside, I'm just going to add a few more whole walnuts for decoration and press those into the dough as well. It just gives it so much texture and makes it look that much yummier when it's baked. So I just push those in, lay those around the banana slices. You're getting the extra protein. It doesn't really add net carbs to the final recipe, but it looks so good and adds that texture to the bread. And to top it off, so we've got the whole bananas, we've got the walnuts, and then I take the brown sugar sweetener and I lay this on top because it caramelizes and it just gives the top of the bread that delicious little crunch. Okay, so now we're going to put this in the oven for 50 to 60 minutes at 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius. Okay, so we've just pulled the loaf out of the oven, and here you have it. This beautiful pumpkin banana bread, keto style. Okay, so let's have a slice of this keto pumpkin banana bread that happens to also be anti-inflammatory. Okay. Oh, by the way, I've left this overnight so they can settle because the flavors meld together over time. So it's going to taste a lot better today than it would have tasted yesterday. Okay, look at this. With all those nuts. Looks great, doesn't it? Okay, let's try this baby. I'm just going to cut it so I can pop a little bit in my mouth without making a mess. I hate talking when I'm eating, and I hate exposing you to that. So I got a little piece so I can kind of pop it in. Let's see. Oh. Mmm. The pumpkin's up front. You get that banana taste in the background and that anti-inflammatory pumpkin spice throughout.